Bolmel had a choice not to be used by Kirmayadit. Okay. Bolmel had a choice. If he was politically mature, he should have not allowed himself to be used by Kirmayadit. But he did. Is stupidity in Aken. Ada Yurubin Yake, Chikirmayadi Jikalu fired several times. Ada Yurubin Yake, Chikirmayadi Jikatai totally. Because Kirmayadi did not know how to use them. Kirmayadi did not know how to get anything out of them. Alright? People like Majanga God, people like so many people that I know, Kirmayadi Jikatai totally. Because they refused to be Kirmayadi because you used. So Bolmel had a choice, be Kirmayadi because you used. Alright? He should have choose in blew a fire or blew a decree out, but save himself rather. But Bolmel did not do that. Bolmel allowed himself to be Kirmayadi use. So whose fault is that? Whose negligence is that? Whose stupidity is that? It is Bolmel's stupidity. It has nothing to do with Lina Parega, it has nothing to do with the BNT. So Ranjol Bolmel allow himself to be Ranjol Kirmayadi use. Chicken use kedi. In the wars, Sudan, Ranjol Bolmel allowed himself to be used. Alright. By first, Bolmel convinced Kirmayadit that we need foreign interference by bringing in Uganda troops. Okay. That was Bolmel's idea. That was Bolmel thinking with protection outside of South Sudan. Alright. Later he knows SSPDF does not trust him. He knows Kirmayadi did not care anyways. Leno Kirmayadi with Bolmel to commit all these atrocities and crimes. So he doesn't care. He allowed Bolmel to do whatever he wants. And Bolmel thought bringing in Uganda was the best way to go. Was that stupidity? Stupidity Bolmel went ahead kuchenka Uganda bike Sudan. Okay. Bolmel went ahead kuchenka army embargo bike yen. Okay. Be tahtid de yen. Alright. Then on ke bike kage Bolmel and bike. Alright. Bolmel went ahead and decided to pay Uganda $200 a month. Kadanga $200. Okay. While Junubin SSPDF was not paid. Whose mistake was it? It was Bolmel who said it was going to pay Junubin, and he did not pay Junubin. Bolmel also decided to bring Uganda forces and decided to pay Uganda forces US dollars while SSPDF was left unpaid. Whose mistake is that? That was Bolmel. Bolmel he would have been balanced. Okay? Uganda dom, dom. But he did not do that. A mistake in Aken. A Lina Peregaken, a Gelmacharekan, okay? Alena Yanyakan, a Junubin get a muscular Kagan Machar today? Can I get a muscular Bolmel today? No, that was Bolmel's stupidity. That was Bolmel negligence. It has nothing to do with Sudan. Okay? Leno Bol went ahead and neglected Jesh Junubi, Kuchenka Jesh Uganda in Ledom, Kuyiki importance on top of that. Kuluke compensated command. Okay? Whose fault is that? A Bolmel fault whereby. Alright? A Bolmel fault. Bolmel ya command, a Chibenbe Kuchenke, a terrible speech, kina camping for Junuba Sudan, a cheap Bolmel Chagam. Bolmel came out, Kuchen call our own people. Junubin. Even if we have our own differences. Alright? Bolmel came out and called our own brothers terrorists. Even if they are Denka terrorists, Lahja can be to know. Lahja of calling our terrorists, ourselves terrorists, be to know. It was Bolmel who invented the word terrorism in Juba, Sudan upon our own people. Okay. Agan macha and Jelagan Bilwell, Elina Paregan Jelagan Bilwell, Elena Ayan and Jelagan Bilwell, E junubin ke che mana kul ke che legen bulwel. It was him who called junubin like a terrorist. And he said people should deal with terrorists. While Rien, he's a minister or a vice president for economic cluster. Ache chief of staff. Ache minister of defense. Kedela kiyana real ke le yuk to know. Eyen de nomrai be kichir kenel we ngun alaka de ke statement chidiken. Engu ena alaka de ke statement chidiken. Okay? Ya jamana. Engu na alaka de ke statement chidiken. Enga chira lu set up che bol mele tok. Okay? Bol mele chila tungu call people terrorist. Fi halade inu ranjol kir mayadit appear malicious. Alright? Junuba Sudan ben a malicious ketatin. Panchol kadang panchol murle adagate militia. Should we call it a terrorist? Why no yen ke kir mayadit ne kadom? Kir mayadit ne kalu sponsor? Should we call United States a terrorist? Why no ke kata under kir mayadit? Okay, so it was not only white army that was a terrorist. If it was a matter of militia, if all militia got terrorism, there are militia that Kir Mayadit is been using. So, engaji bana mushkila termen. Kira jol bolmil etok we by. E bolmil etok. Call people terrorist. Okay, check. Tong ke lorut. Fi Upper Nile, Lorad exactly around the same time in BN. Bolmil played a huge role. Fi kai kejito, including Ton Majurdak. Bolmil had a role in it. Bolmil had a role in our brothers from Nuer Kejito, Fi Upper Nile. Okay? And the same thing, SSPDF Kejito, Bolmil also have a hand in it. Because there was no need of all of that. Mistakes kachi Uganda kachi kaloi fi soil of South Sudan, Bolmil has a hand in it. Getting the control, the mismanagement, okay, the miscontrol. Lenjira loi le kadang le jeshi Uganda fi soil of South Sudan, okay, it went out of hand because of Bolmil. Whose mistake is that way by? Elina Paregeke. It was Bolmil 100%. Okay, Bolmel and General set up it up. And he knew that Kir Mayadi was using him. Alright? Yen an economic cluster. If it is a matter of him going to Emirates to borrow money, he could have just borrowed the money, bring it back, buy the logistics, drop it off by Uganda, could be the day. But no. He wanted to prove to the people of South Sudan that he's powerful. He wanted to prove to the people of South Sudan that he's a successor of the leadership of Kir Mayadit. He wanted to prove to the South Sudan that he's the next leader. No, I am matter of we rajekala bay could be kuchat kapin for Uganda chiman chen ka kwat pin ko lwan ku jil ku du junub ku chen ka dang lu ka bay ku bi de Lucky no. He have to give intimidating speeches actually to prove to the people of South Sudan that Union can next leader. A mistake na ken. Your mistake then. That was his own mistake. Manjo junub joge man werengo. Man werengo. Chiman wait because of that. Okay, that was worse. Leben mismanagement. Mismanagement of funds. Ayanela, Panjol Emirates, Buwe Bukala Diet. Kulewe Baben, Kulum Kagaben, Kubednum, what I didn't know Shabba Kidadom. Kubednum, inu there are so many departments we book a dom kwa chicken kadom. There are so many ministries we book a dom kwa kinakadom. But he still grabs the money, Kulum Kagayan. Getting? Alright? Kulum Kagayan, whose mistake is that? Stupidity can you know, he promised, you know, being Kabagadom. and yet ela buchen ka wele ka den kule wele ka be yen en go kon ko dom yen. Who mistake was that way by? Che mistake de to. A mistake de to. Latin and decided to bribe everybody. Decided SPLM was fragmented because of him, and now he's trying to bring the SPLM elite on his side. So what did he do? The same money Ekela Bay to invest in improving the economy, you used to bribe everybody. Everybody that goes to his office must take a picture with him. A mistake ngaken. Everybody that was criticizing him, anybody that was not supporting him, okay. Anybody that was not standing with him, anybody you was ashtar minnu ashan minnu Bol decided that everything was going to start with $1 and finish with $1. Whose mistake was that? Yani Bol decided inu kwat kiri ben elazim bala be dollar. Aye joga dollar kutoga dollar. So he ended up investing where kala de ben to improve the economy. Aye gaba you use ben, okay, upon bribing everybody ko baka ko yen. Iye mistake nga kan what you die we ben. We midmadinga will what you die Bol when Bol was doing that. Okay, we ginobin we monje we jalwel ma ko le Bol julo zalamu kwa hili na pare ka ara yi Bol yeti. Well, you guys were not watching that. Bol decided that want to buy everybody. What you young been in the watch? Yeti. Bol aje balatin ko be lui engage kega America. Yeti. Accepted the worst deal in the history of South Sudan. By accepting, because forced, but criminals because we accepted, we bent Sudan, okay, in exchange of his sanction to be lifted. Whose fault was that? Bol pressured everybody for us to accept and bend the pressure that America was giving to the people of South Sudan to accept the criminals because we deported to South Sudan, okay? In exchange, Bol blew free from sanctions. We had to pay to accept dangerous criminals behind Sudan. In exchange, Ran Togoril. Okay? Ran Togoril. Ashanuyen, be decree, blue be sanctions blue lifted. That was born right there. Sudan was compromised. Safety Sudan was compromised by us accepting criminals. We went to Sudan, co-ordinating facilities for them. Okay, co-ordinating capacity for international criminals. We accepted war dumping ground for criminals from America because Sudan, because Bol was lobbying for his sanctions to be lifted. Kena jakle agana. Junubin keman bola kol. Kini mahag bi Bol big man. Little Bol was selfish. Bol was greedy. Bol was looking for his interest only. He was willing to put Sudan at risk. For us to accept criminals, he was lobbying. And he was paying lobbies on top of that. But which then the sanction blue lifted on him. Whose fault was that? Okay. Whose fault was that? Was that Bol problem alone? Junub had to pay for it. We have to pay for it. So the next time man bola kul we buy. Kela kena. Aku kaltani. Iya lina parega kan? Ya Bol elura sarabetok. Kete. Bol etok elura sarabetok. Now, to Joe by Benamatin one enin. Bolja Balatunja Kirmaya did really carwing because he thought Kir was sick and Kir was flying between doctor to doctor and Kir was taking medication and Kir was pretending like he was dying and Kir pretended like he was in oxygen. But he decided to be stupid. Stupidity can check it out. Lenny and what kind of person he's dealing with. He's dealing with Kir Mayadid. Lakin yen, if takarno yen ashtar men Kir Mayadid. Getting? Go Kir Fallon going into Kaji, Kulora Kachi away. Getting? Well, you oxygen, which are oxygen laptop. Lenny has Mamma oxygen. Kir was Mamma oxygen. Lakin I wouldn't, would not talk down by a little oxygen, you like you. Could you board your chip Korean to air? Thinking on the Kir Mayadid talk in a budong leadership. Getting? Borgola to the name. Kujenka system of ben wearable. Let them Kujenka Kaika Tautin, Nye financial security, where Kaika Taukatin. Apparently, Dalka, his eyes should be everywhere. Let them Kujenka Kaika Fiamai, Nye where Kaika Taukatin. Apparently, Gal Kirmayadid is dying. Let them and Fibolis, Kujenka Tatin, Nye where Kaika Taukatin. He even went as far as recruiting Ajana got mucked up Ranchol Ayan Wasili. Even went that far. But the Mujenka Katatin Randatun Manud one, that's you guys remember. Take a Manud read a saying, where I didn't bay, we bay, but out in Manud. Apparently, he won his eyes, Panakir Mayadi, because he wanted to hear everything before it happens. Let the nenen ku leben fias pelam zatu kujenga kai ko read the sigini ujenga ko chopke ku lekai ko achi ko wi ashan because he want his eyes in there, he want to hear everything. Kubela benza to fi J1 letin kujenga kai ko ngege kujenga ko apparently he wanted to see decree before they are made. Kubela tin final part zatu kujenga nile part jenga ko ngege kujenga kai ko taukatin apparently he wanted to be part of all of that. That is Bolmel. Why? Because he thought Kir Mayadid was dying, so therefore he wanted to put his eyes everywhere, so when he takes over the powers, but Akikirto, then he can go ahead and take it because he has his eyes everywhere. A mistake naken. Kujakir Mayadid yoralo kaito. Getting? Jakir Mayadid yoralo kaito, yoralo kachewe. You know, Kachilibu way in the box, even though he didn't need it. Okay? Could you kill my Yoralo in Kachi way in the Boalka, the Arbukadega Yahweh? While Kimaya was watching him. The boy, your Wallatanza, your Kaka, young bin, getting went against Polanang, went against everybody, and now he went ahead and controlled Uganda forces, turn a moj, could take in a loidi, I shall not to create fear. So people can fear him. Getting, there is a new leader in the block. Bolmel is powerful. Bolmel is the alternative to Kir Mayadid. Okay? Midkong Madinga will became obsessed with him. Actually, Garitan, Bolmel is the next leader. Actually, don't be in Gankok. See? While Kir Mayadid, I'm with you, Dabib Naim. Getting. Leenu, achino bad waduyen, abi Kir Mayadid ke a tool, baby you use, he forgot all of that. And he thought in the end he will outsmart his own master. He thought he will outsmart his own master. That's what Ranjot Bolmel did, Yamana. You see? Go Kir Mayadid, go to Qatar, kujenko komza to injua kijana Kir Mayadid, letin bralo inuyen, hata na manmasha fina, de kada na manmasha fi stadium, goralo ga chechak, be jornial men folk, be jatping. You guys remember the scene. Kir Mayadid zat amal nafsunu ya chechak. Kir fa'lan amal nafsunu jay mood na majruba Sudan صدق إنه راجل فعلا جاي يموت. Getting يعني كير ماشي شالوه من فوق عشان يجي قاعدوا تحت. The same thing لما قال لا يمشي طيارة فوق وجود من فوق لهناي. The same thing لما قال كلا شاك كير لوكا توين فعلا قطو. getting حتى لما المشي كده إثيوبيا عمل فيه قال ما قاعد يقرأ عشان be international community بدأ you know this guy is incompetent and the crimes that are happening in South Sudan he has nothing to do with it, somebody is committing them. الراجل ده فعلا لعب دور مريض دور عيان دور ماشي يموت كويس عشان انه بولميل يركب الليلة يتي كله كده دكتور كبول فعلا صدق يتي بول فعلا صدق la dungu jen ka ngege nyaay tan ko ngege taw dungu jen ka ngege nyaay tan ko jen ngege taw dungu bu kira da yen bad ma ji ke jalatin ku joga kan wike bi bol ka loy okay crimes ke wike bi bol ka loy ka ci ka loy ku jen ka spele ma ci tegi ci mun wije nen ku ran jor yek ma shara ci maj ci mun wije ne ku ka ya ci ka nok fa pa na ci mun wije nen go jala hay keti ake oxygen ce ballon madar ilaj madar dawa kuletun zar kulo kai jat شفتوا وهو إيه ده طبعا قبول خلاص أشيلو يعيش في دورنا ين كبن ويلا أجاك من هنا لهنا كنا يدا ياهو تعلق كنا منكير ما يدي تسافر عشان يمشي تعالج لمرة الأول ولمرة الثاني بولا دود كي لك ويبلا مكتب كير ما يدي بلا نيكورسي لو كو آخر زيارة شي كير ما يدي إنجلا إماراتس bolmil ke ga bunga buk alo nyi maktab kir ma yadi bi jalo jamten bi log lomtin eno de bi kir ma yadi ben totin ku de bi bolmil ben kursi kir ma yadi be log lom ku de ku jaka ba log loy tene ban ku fi hale no room kir ma yadi re recording ye kire ye twine tene ra we be recorded all that was recorded ben yati walu kir ma yadi amal fi mayit wa amal fi ma hayarja يا جماعة هي mistake ناكن هي لينا بري جنراج بولميل بوب زمان ده ويا جنوب السودان يمان بولميل يا بولميل لونا سرابتو بولميل لوك لكي أبوك مكتبي بيجلا لوم تبيكير ما يهدي توتن كنت بيكير بين بيكير لومتن كتي بول ما قادر يقول إيه لازم بلوك لا مكتبي كنا كون كجوبن كران جوال بول نان وجيبين بيجوك لا مكتبي كير ما يهدي دي okay لأنه بول عايشة دورينه هيكون رئيس دورينه فعلا he was going to take the powers دورينه هو فعلا he's the successor of Kir Mayadid whose fault was that way by كبول مين fault again يلينا بري fault eh so من enjoy Kir Mayadid جونا ديدي كجوبيت كوات بيل Kir Mayadid جام بول شو نياي. It's not because Kir Mayadi was not hearing the people of South Sudan crying for social media. No. It was because Kir Mayadi want to keep people busy. I check Kir Mayadi did bol mill go bol mill go japol. I shall be a bol mill in dead while he goes ahead and fix things the way he wants it. Any reason why a bol mill go Zamandakulu. It's not because Kir Mayadi don't want to take him. Kir Mayadi knew the intentions of bol mill. The last intentions work by enjoy bol mill enjoy la fi meeting with the SSPDF enjoy the commander in chief bol did not correct it kada kiyana lina pare gatatin agal mashar tatin kai mane en gatatin che yene tok men joke na jol ke commander in chief why he did not fix it. Did he fix it? No, he didn't. SSPDF issued a letter later on and they apologized. But that was not the case. The case was to send a message to Kir Mayadi Nurandungan at the pure bang. Quite in pure bang, Kabulu corrected. But no, he did not correct it. A Jama incident kin. A Yelina Paregaya command can a good lorry. Eh? Bolmil muscle the KHOLK commander in chief. Muscle the KHOLK commander in chief. Kukaga bin alu Kir Mayadi elected knowing in a bol mill like pure dag bang. A woga a Junuba Sudan again in a man bol mill, ye were rap in a man bol mill, ye mon younger bin a bargazar a man bol mill, it was bol mill setting himself every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. It was bol mill. Okay? Bol mill it took. Chibelu corrected. As SPDF, I apologize. Kubol Mill did not correct it. Because in a kinta pure again. Okay? In a kinta bol mill pure again. Lina Parega can work my. It was Bol Mill who set up himself. Okay, now, Kajakai Kagakul, and you're going to chop. Kanga you by the work by. I can flip pages, you guys can see. I think. At least I can flip and flip. Getting Kako Abakapol. When you chop Matin, could you chop Matin, Yalu decree out, could you stripped from all the powers? They could allow, you know. Ebola Jebali have the second time. Okay. Bolen Jebali have the second time. Bolen Gilatin, Kumet Kirmayadinian. Legal because Kegajulu intervene in helping rapid forces. Shamal Sudan pure react. But Shamal Sudan akin Zaid akit yog. Getting akit gas akit yog. Bol Mill came, Kuleke Mayadi or Chejas yog. Kujakir yog. Tried Bijam Burhan refused blue deal again. Okay. But now the problem is NOA and Fallon just a kinat yog. Okay, just a kid yok honest. Like in Bol created a fabrication where I don't know yet just a kid yok. And Bol from the beginning of September, okay, Kabol Adam just kuja September, October, okay, Kumatino okay for November, Sheja Dom Chokolwan. Okay, alright. And a gelatin, Kujenka just in a highway for black market, Kuletin Kujenka 2.5 billion dom cake in advance. Okay. While Junub is thinking in just Jitio Kayata for Zuruf Hala Saba Jidden. Hala Saba Jidden. Kofi Nefsa Lahza at the group that in group away Junub Ekanyop. Getting at the group that in group with Jen in Okuba Hokuma Balloon, and of course I'm supporting it. Getting so we were Nyop cake. The rare we were check a jot Bikayat New Sudan. Okay. The rare we the economy was collapsing. Okay. So, the majority of the you call were and Jolaton. Go Jolaton, go like Jama in just a Louis. I think that's a temko. Ken Yaka Choltawali. Well, investigation a loy, a yoke fatling, Ranjol Bull Mill, at 2.5 billion at Chakadom in advance, Kuchenka just a wide way for black market, whereas watching the Jachet yoke to begin with. Okay? Kuchenga 2.5 billion and Chibol million Chidom in advance, Kega we could like a ping yen, Kade Ku Louis Plan Ping, Hukuma we blew overthrown. Apparently, Bull Mill we yen Kayen, but Hukuma blew overthrown. Kuletan Kuchenka Uganda do promise what are they in Kapaka Yek double the price Kachika could we agree. And a reason why in Chika Rabiana decree bed Dama Kolwa and we could Bull Bike Nyai. Because apparently, Bol was able to convince Museveni, Kuja win Museveni, whether they no yen, Kabaka ye weekend, Kwanyay, Martin, Kawiken, and Chikaloyo. So, Kirmayadi was convinced that no Bol must remain, and the reason why in Kenya, Kolwan. And as a weekend be nyai. Fi halada, Bol knew in the yen Kanyay, so lazim dash, can I yiftor be Kirmayadi, Gabli Kirmayad my dash a bill. So, can a Kolwan and loy kene. Kirmayadi Ninjira Dod, Blue for Turu Bol, Gabli Bol my dashabel, or in a ball we brought Dod, Gabli Kirmayadi my dashabel, we have to be Kirmayadi. Getting. So, Naman Kirmayadi, the pressure Fallon, in a board the group Dancheloy, for Jedagriel, Kochenka, Wachaka Yokchok, Ereka Yoke by Don, Kochenka, powers, Kaluka stripped out of him, Kunyang Pinka, Rian, Biajuan and one buck again and dong again. Getting. So, Kene a muskilanga. A muskila Junub manen, where a muskila de rat. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Kwache ye ne rana wala haja jirana jamii first of all. Kagabina allegation chuka pingetan yana leo juba wala nge hagiga okay ukaka kaka chuka ping. Eting awe ka beja chopping e kuno okay gi yene ich. Eting e wadunu ye chuka deal bola chija ajwe. Kuyen a watch kadang a watch powers kadang we powers a we galom or ni ye then a chiki chaman and yona nyai binyai from vice president budupin be a private citizen yene kan ke ne chiran chol kir ma yade ke jaman kene baga lego water irten aka uka ping to the wig. Okay, oh yeah, Juba nan. So what I have is a second-hand information. So we got with him first-hand information about Jack chopping to the walk e kuno ke gi yene age. Lakin either way kalwele tene chama kiri because kira mayadi chile bra nyai ran chitan ka jeriel. Ran chitan ka jeriel chile bula nyai from vice president ku chwatpin bea kadang bea private citizen if there was nothing serious behind it. Achoga mune wuna jong korwa ma de tempo chopping gule ka reach le ka yen ka we rap clicks ka ga jeni we rap clicks at all. Okay, kene adek bol mil choga deal ke ka ne ka liab miscalculation e loy en jela ried awan yet. Okay, so ka yen we bai en ka chira loy ka ken. So kene jamana e gede galaka ke ga monjen ke bol mil wi kene gede galaka ke junu bin bol mil wi kene de galaka ke ka yero bol mil nyai. Okay, I don't know what the fact remain in a bull mill, a children set up a talk, bull mill in a chiracho on a choke. Getting bull mill and your deck a chick, a low, a chick, a my yard go over and equal. Care my yard in Munkin is Stahmilak, but where, but crimes, but a low mind way muscular. Like in the Chinalo, we peel in we kursi day. Care my yard, the Nijan and we kursi day, Karajiping. So menjana jale ka jabol mi raj penyakul izen ke kursi ki iren jile ka wich. Izen ka luel ku ke ben altia ga yid wek bai. Lenu ranchol kir maya di de chile bika raj peny illa bengi wala de wi kursi de. Kira la bi pol ba chwer, la bi pol ba crimes ba ka loy, la bi pol ba ku nui ba loy ku bit ku chilu yi. Lakin a jale li wi kursi de. Kena yo min raj peny ka ken. Kwa chan bu bol mi raj peny ku lu humiliated. Kunye kwarki ben biajwane togendong etar isn't for sure modu adegala ke kursi de. So dinika yeluel kulela adare ino yen bol kachija sacha aiwe plug market kule wele ka dom in advance kule ben kule le ka wi bukura nga wi be leadership kirma yade binyai kene ayoke 100% lenu yiran yarin wana kol ra luini force upon people. Actually, be ko be nyai real be chuth ko be ajwane to gendong ke yin ela zum da kra cha loy ko ne ke chi bol mele ke loy ka ken we bai yan ku jag jam ke chi bul ka wo ke nin ka we ke taken ko nge jinu pe churu ketin ku jawe ka juba am mutake tamama ninu your minutes a chi del to ketin fa yan am ba ta ke ba lu ku la we bai ran jol bol mel e ran chi nya ye to ku yan ba ko taken because yan I understand eno ku chang ni ten ba ra ka bu ga go ten ben ba pon ga go ten aya ni taken so aya yoguno it is better ba ko ten ajo dak der gu jen ba la ben kam ja ba la ba ketin ka ya ba la we bai ran jol bol mel a che junu bin ke manen ai wana am celebration lo rat as a speed ya follow celebration wa chika kir yo chika bol mel nyai junu ba lo celebration wa chika bol mel nyai su konyo alo celebration rakshada ben kete tene ben ayeka ping ben kele ti jati celebrating wa chika bol mel nyai that is a very strong message jati junubina ki kan lu unite against one person bol mel is the first person bi junubin bi jalu join against kiran to which jati that message should say a lot tene kay when we lu bol mel support ajira anti accounting fi junub fitari junuba Sudan ben ajira anti junub kan lu unite bi tong mat 64 tribe bi to mat ka chi wi dan bol mel a che wa rap to ni to mat e gidi jo 64 tribe en ji to mat ka chi wi bol mel rakshat ke ta fi juba jira ngi ke rakshat o ke ka wa rap ko rakshat o ke ka junuba Sudan eti e ye nyuot wa da no junuba to di le ko ji bol mel ko ka wi bi mi ma dinga will big daddy wa da no yen a che wa rap en ko ji bol mel ina ma ka junuba Sudan fa'lan en ji ko ji bol mel as PDF celebration and she baby where chule bungi fi asas PDF hel ka lu celebration ka mi warap wala the same thing bordu rakshat ko jota en chukting fi juba wen a chule bungi hel mi warap ka ge you gonna change today so you gonna get junuba ben lo celebration and that should send you a very strong message that it is the Junuba Sudan and Chuja Bolmel and Bolmel is the first and I hope will be the last in history of Junuba Sudan be Junuba Yamat Kajuran bol mele chi junu ba chen kwe ba bai kwa chi junu kwe yen a junu wala ka ke kwa ni wol ke chaban wala kol ajina laga ke ran cho la tan wa gan jaban wala kol ke against bolmel ajina laga ka gal ma charge la ka kalina parek ajina laga ka jinu wa Sudan ben ke ju ko ke ju bolmel from the very beginning getting enama ke de ka laga ke bolmel ka shakhs en ju jinu wa Sudan en che kwet getting ku da ka wonta ka kwe na ben ke ga ka ju jinu wa Sudan ke cho la kwe ju bolmel ku ja ka ja be ke kirma yadit wala da no yana wi kursi kirma yadit go kirma yadi go chuột ko bay ben ko nyen ko bay kwel chatin ko dukta der chol ga yen bulmel chatin so ka yen wek ba ene ka jira ya lo ka ken ka yen ran chol bulmel ran chi junub chen kwe ko junub ki kwe yen wale mon madinga will because ade madin ko chi junub ka gam chatin ran chol Hussein Abdul Bagi chi junub chi gam chi ran che kang jam go ko kultuk لأنه ين راجل مسؤول وراجل محترم ين برضو تدور ده تتوي كجنوبي كمواطن كبرضو زول مسؤول كسياسي يعني إنه ين حسين كليل قال كده كلوي كبح تتين يبان كجام قاعد كده أنت كين كجام رانجول بولمل كجاك بي كلوي كان بن بجا كان لوب بن قال بن زار قال كجوي بجام تتين وجين كنبيلي نليو fareze ngulel galoy ka bolmele ci ba bika bolmele ci ben roy bolmele ci ben eti Hussein Abdul Baki ki wan bien Hussein cha la wil wala to no ken bolmele ben bu chu cha a jangi e jong kir ma yadi den che dom e yere ken be jangi ku yene ci ban kir ma yadi dom jong den ye du ten lakin ayen bolmele jong to wona du den kuran jol Hussein Abdul Baki wan ta yen tin e cha eti e ben bi ka di e ben mara sabadi kwa de gelo ko wibulo ke man bai ka loy a de gelo ka loy ke mo atin ka loy a lo ka de wibulo ke siasi ka loy kene bol mil dom jin bi chuk loy a we ga ngen getting so kaga ben akadin getting kuran jol Hussein ai wa dam jinu tarikh كويس لكن ين كشخص قدر انه ين يبني علاقاته كجنوبيين كوي وقدر انه يثبت نفسه انه كجيون قالوا يون كان لكن ين كي حسين نم achi junubi ni chele bilu judge based on kichi un ka loy yen ke siyasi ke junubi achi londe chi loy ajulu participate ke junubi ajulu participate ke siyasi ajulu participate ke man mon jang hatte yani yati so alwe ka de ko loy ka ba ko ne reason why te ke yen de ko reason why jiran je kang la yebo ko man ma ding yati so mo do mai do ala ka ke ma ding alright de ka jwe ba di ra cho la te ka de nga te we ka kan I went out, but I went to go at the personal level. Lakin Ali Ben in his position, one in time Maktabi, Karanchola Tang, at your own day, young. Getting, yeah, leader Parekmatin, I can never criticize that I knew that I did not fulfill his job. Getting, at time truly, at your own day, at Lewi, at time was very close to the people of South Sudan, and one time Maktabi, getting, J1 was accessible. Achit maluma lebeleka week kuchiping atay was so quick to respond, atay was so quick to represent the country of South Sudan. Atay was really quick to represent South Sudan through his interviews, getting even zaman wanajam fi BBC or Al Jazeera a young a deal, you know, somebody from the office from the president office is speaking. So atay falan fulfill his position. That I tell bakang nyai today. Getting the can't take a word at the personal level, I tell my problem. Getting like him for his own position, I chat Angelo Perfil, Guaman Madi. Getting at time to take a Angelo criticize, Kira really criticize at the personal level. Take it and take a wood yen at the personal level. Lakinale Ben Zaman and Tay Maktabi, Kata Yatin get a wood at his level in the office, Leno Lunda Chitongi. Quaki and Alcolina Parade. Would you really support a time to go back to the office? I would support him 100%. Leniana Yokuno after a time left the office, I ran to that position looked younger than a time. Until now, I have not seen anybody position can to look fulfilled. I do not see anybody that use social media because what you need media when social media talk that's the only way we connect. Okay, and a time understood how to use social media to his benefit. At time was accessible. Atany was not afraid to answer any question. Atany was interacting. Atany was not afraid to be anywhere at any given moment. Okay, and even bad Atany was still Lamana Sabadik, and he's participating at his best level. So Atany Angelo criticized. I did Angelo criticize, as I said, it was at the personal level. Like at a professional, political level, Atany Angelo criticized that he was incompetent. Atany was 100% competent at his position, and I really hope he goes back to the office. And he deserves it. Atany deserve it. So Atany Angelo criticized. So if it is a matter of man, for me, a leader, I was his biggest fan, and I'm still his fan. Okay, he did a great job when he was in the office, and I still support that. So, all right, I don't meet mading that are remarkable. All right, and so is Malonga one, which my boss. Like Malong also has played a great role. Chilabulu denied. Okay, so when mading I will support. The idea, the idea, I don't think that's a good idea. I say mading and chuwich. Mading because chuwich waru mading state, state that Sudan. I say what I just heard talk about which I quit ye and what you heard Japan yin get on any quine. I just I quit ye and get you into which, you are doing it into which, you are doing it in represent hatter. Leonard and a quine, you are cheating and a quine. So who are you to come here and say and to which? We are to weak, I do what you in it. All right, I swear, got you ping, got your gum, got your berry. Where are you in all of this? You should not involve yourself. What you alone lose out to Louis support because you need one yin. Rane Louis defender and a one yin, like in a one yin. You are a ping, you are a one correct. So I hope you mean Mading, I will understand that way. Like in a meet. Mading I will cock to Louis, near Junub cake, quiet Junub Louis support, quiz could you know a cake, Abbott, quiz Lena cake at Louis, Quaki Louis, or a chicken Luca, Mading, la, at Luca cake, you know, being. I want now my Mading, a immediate, toward the Gabbett Mading, quiz, Lenatini Louis, quiz, Lucky the wine or Alaka go away. Lenati work a quine. It was Buru, the Hadma Bijinu Sudan, Bijadagri and Winner and wine. Kubagaben Bajari ran yet, like I work quite couldn't go. All right, it is not your business. All right, so can we taught and we taught any about video job yoke. I am near to mean Mading, I will bang a general bon mail let you know when you ye. Okay, you know what because in the year that you represent what you learn that you loy. When with Mading, you guys don't have the right. When I say with Mading at your wig, I mean some of you. Where you guys don't have the right back, you know, baglat. You guys don't have the right back, neighbors, kun bakalat. You guys don't have right back, anybody baglat. Leno at your work a quine. The thing, kill my ring, a quine, work my ring, a yai. Quite check a look criticize when I came with my ding. I look criticize because okay, I individuals, quite chicken my head a bay. Okay, so we're waiting him right back, I ran baglat. Wait until we awake a quine wake. Like in at your work, a quine, then you guys don't have any right. While look at criticize here, when we'll awake and wake, I think it's loy, even at your own diary, sia. Will I look at my ding? I will, Kadara, sia, we are away, get you a deal. Like in at your way, we'll do a challenge, I can't work a challenge. So we nyai Krutin, Kayachi Ru Nyal, Mungat Sabab, Kuranicha, the Port Bukui date, Mungat Sabab, Kuranicha, Paulino, Bubelu Hamashu, Kula Kuite, Kula Chute, Ashan because in yin and represent. Can I which Halis? Dura loy bar and I showy, Dura loy bar and one could well be a quail for Hamu, Fika Winchino Malakatan Halis. So Nyai Kurutan Halis, Ranjol Bol Mill, at your bay, what you kill my attitude, Nyai, could you live humiliated? Jim and Jen I call you humiliated before, Chabol Meliani. So where I can go Gothke, where you come on, where we back to a deal. Get you back where Yanyar, where Manawan and Yakulo will follow. Ranjol Malonga and I, Anyara Kakan. And I ran about Louis follow, and I ran the Buaka cake, Martin Bacaloy. Like it will get back where Yanyar, where Anja will look where you let him allow and we will follow. Okay? You can't. So it's we were again, Baggy, Madichu a deal, Bagwellian. You guys want to go far the way you guys are going right now? em mà fruit bag lôi cái ran cho mà long awan because mà long phải là nè cái cũng mà long phải là nó cũng mà long phải là ada nông tarikh jamil cũng mà long phải là nó nier shab jadi mà long nier shab jadi mà long ở cheran cũng mà long awal haja atid ya sadaka dan lebelum lakini ci lebelum balta wimbi entin jadi mà long ne ran won te da won ni entin ya guir ku to won me jakt ni ya guir lakini ai ran won e ja lel cái de yen de bu guir ku ba ja fa ka di chu won so we ga chala ba ku da nyar ba ka da nyar chu ku nyang ka nyar pin ku ja ba le ba ba ka ma la wan chu jadi ran won ci te ma yi de wotin it doesn't make sense we ba we take we take ma long wan chu we ba mon jang man na bang man ma long wan chu thì nó quý ba rồi tàn nó chụp cái đi chứ mà nó quên hoàn này là anh cho all đội vô anh gật của lấy cái là trống thì nó quý với em là trống cái bộ lúc là trống sao mà long ngao anh lấy lại chứ mà luôn lên ta cái là trống cái chuỗi đi mà luôn chưa có liệt cái gì còn mà luôn chưa có liệt là kia chứ là bà gia luôn là luôn là bà gia là trống thì cái mà nào anh how ra là lấy trống cái liệt cho cổ là cái bộ luôn chứ là có liệt so we you guys need to revise your thinking cái gì. Yes, I understand. No, yeah, and nyara cha biot ka chewe chelik. Lakini that does not mean no nyara cha la leg, la bag leg. Getting? Chak dedi. I understand no, yeah, and nyara cha biot ka ke leg week, yo ko chelik. Getting? Lakini that does not mean no, yeah, and nyara cha la leg, la bag leg. Lakini la bag leg tingi you again no, yeah, we chak ki ra la ba nyar leg. Chak bing. Piang ga pat bang bugi. Ang nyek. Where ada, we chanyara cha biot. Anyara kek leg wig. Anyar ache we leg. A cha biot. Kuyoke, kachim dead kach leg. Eti. Lakin that does not mean kachel bag leg. Kwalwe kek leg. Ke lazim bag chak ke gran win le banyar le beleg. Chak bing. E lazim bag chak ke gran won le banyar lek kuran jol malunga wan ene rane le banyar lek ka ken kuran dun acharan le banyar kang lek ran dun e wi bo go ke de ko ba ga ite ke de ko we let jang ke de ko we mustaidin za ya gwa pingun le we go mustaidin ba tek be junubi yati ka ci ran le bi we tek be ran chỉ là ba nhà chỉ là blik, ok, lắc cái, we ba take vậy, take cái ran ba nhà lek, thì we bữa cái đong cái chỗ cái đi, thì đang gọi là đồ vô thì này gì cười lấy cái đong, cái là đong cái ran là ba nhà lek, jadi nang lo là we ba là đong cái ran chỉ là ba nhà lek, jadi cái đại cái we gì, you think cái bùa lấy chỗ cái đi là ba nhà lek, em mà lung cái trục, ina là ba nhà lek we gì, jadi ai mà lung cái nó chả biết chúc. Ai mà long này we biwa take one day mà long này we biwa tor one day mà long này we biwa cái yo one day cầm mà long cho cái deal ene ran le banyar le ka ken yati lakin ri han dun a chera le banyar le chele bakang le yati anyar chele bakang le ka ya be le we le this time around do ka nya do be biot yok a biat ke ka nge ke ka bag le ka che mon de be la gwe yati quả ya cái yoga chắp lấy cái wet, cái đó bé biot chúc thani, đó bé biot chúc, của bên cái là tem wet cái chiều chiếc leg, đó cả nhar, đó bé biot chúc, của là cái tem wet cái chiều chiếc leg, à bên cái biot chúc this time, cái biot cái chúc cái nhét cái bác cái leg wet, Kurana ting, bole mil, ấy chỉ là ba nhà leg wet, so wet thiệt cái biu ở nhà leg, bác yuk, thì chưa có gì mà lo. Cái điều bela we kan wa jingu di ke we ga mon jang wa molal go dan wa de bol mel fa'lan achira le banyar lek achira le ba wan lek achira akin ya mu pa ta chilek amu pa a chilek so we ga jingu di ke we wo mon jang ja tin we ran ci le ba mu ko ci le lek pal ko bol mel ba ka ka kir ma ya dit ko ri de blue house ci na won ci kir ma ya dit de ba la le yen cái power ra chứ cái nhai chứ được gọi là bún nọc rồi bây giờ bây giờ yat từ đây bạn nhớ cái nín tin rồi chúng mình chưa chọn cái bây giờ yat kia pal cái bây kia mà thì đua protected Jadi palge kunyai ko rutun khalis wan duwe ga kwen be adun ga be war ngi wage no kwen a che ke de to go ma jen ne no kwen a ki chama to a ji chuere cho ga di la ki chama to a ji chuere ku chem ga we ene ko wan duwe ga be ku da bol mil men ba ga bung be cha chama to chu wo toy to ko ne bol mil la kin wo toy to ko cha ping a kwen di don a chu wo toy to ko jadi ne ko wan duwe ga be lakin a bol mil la ba bung be bol mil la nga ci toy to we gi jadi chal ke bol mil chal ke got cross de to ci men jen ke ki ma bi ke ma ri we da mai ko de ba be we dat ko ben yeg lon en det chuara che po ko ke ba ngi bol mil la ki po ke ki le ni chuara che po bol ki ma ya di de chuar ko bol mil la chuar ko pa ko chuara che po ade de bi ke ba rom ten jadi te bi ke ba rom ten a radin okay so ke ya ne ku bele we ka ken we ka yu yan hada du matin I'm not starting with you ako yi palpin jamran ka we yi palpin ya ne we bele we ran chol bolmel aki ke kir ma ya di le chuara che po kati palge kir ke go bolmel bilu di le tok ma shakil ke rabi ka lu helu tok ko bi kir ma ya di bala jor wa de ban ba yi london we ruda we bagay so we nyaay ko rutin ko jal ke ka lu deal with themselves ene gidi mo bele we ka ken kudaka la gat kun do ka raji ti ko mon jen ko ken yar we kudaka la gat kun raji kudaka ro raj mon jangin eti wara bol mel okay lenu chuara che pok adete bi ke ba rom din yak ko abro bel we higher ci mon won channel wel ka ngajo ja pay ko ja la ba gal wel ben amo ko ji de video ken ay ko wi ba ping bo mi mon jen ko ja we mi ma di nga wul chol bol mel e kin ma ya di biyen ko kin ma ya di che ba nyaay kur ku chuara che pok ba rom ko we community nyai ko rutin le na che we ko kwanyen tati ko we ga che we defend a hizb and be in tin